Greetings gastronauts, this is Keith Cook's Christmas! I'm Keith and today I'm going to show you how to make a Yule log. So this is probably one of the craziest things ever invented by the French in fact. It's a cake that looks like a wooden log that you would throw on your fire. How bizarre is that? Anyway, they call it bûche de Noël, we call it a Yule log, and basically it's like it's like a chocolate Swiss roll with cream in the middle, and a chocolate ganache artfully carved to look like wood bark. Yes, indeed. A very silly thing to make, but it's Christmas, so let's do it. Okay, first thing to do is make the sponge, for which you need 4 eggs, 100 grams of caster sugar, and in here I've got 40 grams of cocoa, that's pure cocoa, no sugar added, and 65 grams of self-raising flour. Now you need to preheat your oven to 200 degrees Celsius, and you'll need a tin to make your sponge in, one with fairly high sides. So I've buttered this, and I'm going to line it with greaseproof paper, parchment paper. And just make sure you press it right into the corners. The butter just helps it stick. Now mix the ingredients. So first of all, break your eggs into the sugar, and then whisk them together. And when it's gone like that, it's gone a bit pale and frothy. That's enough. Now we just sift the flour and the cocoa together into the bowl. Just make sure you don't get any big lumps of flour in there. And then fold it in with a spoon or spatula. Try not to knock the air out of the eggs. Alright, and when it's all nicely mixed in and glistening, just pour it into the tray. And then just spread it around to fill the tray in a nice thin layer. And that goes in the oven for about 10 minutes. Remember, all ovens are different, so don't blame me if it doesn't work with yours. Right, so that was 10 minutes, and that's worked quite nicely. If you just press it with your finger, it feels spongy, and it's coming away from the sides a little bit. So to get the sponge out of the tray, just have another sheet of greaseproof paper and sprinkle it with caster sugar, and then carefully turn that over and peel off the paper that it was baked in. Now you need to score a line a couple of centimetres, about an inch from one of the long edges, and then pick up the paper and roll this as tightly as you can with the paper inside, and pray that it doesn't crack. Although, you know, it's not the end of the world if it does. And we'll leave that to cool completely, and then we'll get on with the filling and the ganache. Now the next step is to make the ganache. So I've got 300 grams of dark chocolate, that is at least 70% cocoa solids chocolate, and 300 mils of double cream, heavy cream. Okay, while the Yule log is cooling, we can make the ganache. And to do that, we put the 300 mils of cream in a pan, and you heat it up. Not quite to boiling, because if it boils, it'll curdle. And you want to get your chocolate and chop it into little bits. And the way to check if it's at the right temperature is to stick your finger in, and if it makes you go ow, that's the right temperature. This is actually showing some action. Ow! Yeah, then we go ow, so that's hot enough. Now we throw in, turn off the heat and throw in the chocolate and stir that round till it melts, till all the chocolate is melted. Look at that. See how it goes brown when the chocolate melts? Not quite there. We want a uniform, shiny brown like that. And that needs to cool down completely, and I'm going to actually stick the whole thing in the freezer to make that happen quickly, and then we can finish off the Yule log. So we're going to whip 300 mils of double cream. It's nice and stiff. Woo! Don't overwhip it or you'll get butter. And we unroll the sponge. You know what I said before about cracking? It doesn't matter. But I wish it hadn't. Anyway, we'll just pretend that's not a total failure, because it isn't. And we spread the whipped cream filling evenly all over this. And now we roll it back up again without the paper this time. And you know I said it's not the end of the world if it cracks. This didn't just crack, it broke into bits. But it will still be wonderful. Okay, there's the roll, and there's the ganache, and it's a bit firmer than, well, I don't know, it's probably perfect actually. So what we need to do is cut a bit off, because this is going to be the branch. So I'm going to spread ganache on the bottom of that, and stick it on at an enticingly artistic angle, and then we're going to cover the whole thing with ganache. Okay, that's the log all coated in ganache, and now all we need to do is try to make it woody looking. And this particular ganache is very firm, which is what you need for this kind of cake. And I know, because I've been looking at trees today, I know that tree bark doesn't really actually look anything like this, but I don't care. It's going to taste fantastic. And there it is. That looks like a pretty convincing Yule log to me, or possibly a Trident submarine. And now we would just want to sprinkle a bit of snow on it, a bit of caster sugar. Oh, look at that. Ah, oh, and decorate it with some things. Plastic robins are supposed to be good, but I couldn't get any. But I've got these pine cones. So there you go. Yule log. You'll love it. Ha ha ha. Merry Christmas. And that's that. Hope you enjoyed it. Now please share it with all your friends on social media. Subscribe to this channel, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and don't forget the amazing website that has all the details of all the recipes. And thank you for watching. Come back soon.